Hello, my name is Seth. Welcome back. Thanks for watching my videos on YouTube at How I Think. In this quick tutorial, I am going to show you how to set up a Cisco NetFlow server. As you all know, the Cisco NetFlow is a Cisco developed flow technology that allows bandwidth monitoring of a network. Usually consists of UDP traffic sent from the Cisco devices to a NetFlow server. In our case, we're using off-the-shelf NetFlow Analyzer by Manage Engine. It's called NetFlow Analyzer Professional Edition, and we'll use that to gather device information. So today we're going to be setting up NetFlow on a Cisco 36 series router, which is right here, and also on the ASA. So to begin with, I'll start with the ASA first. So what we'll do is we'll use the ASDM. Fairly easy. We're going to click on Device Management. We're going to click on SNMP. And we're going to give it a community string. In this case, I'm going to call it NetFlow. It's using port 161. We're going to click on Add. We're going to use the Insight port, the Insight interface. We're going to specify the IP address of the NetFlow server, which is 192.168.1.5. We're going to use 161 UDP port, okay? We're going to click on OK, which is fine. Then logging, we're going to click on NetFlow. Here we're going to change the template timeout to 1 minute, and delay we're going to change to 15 seconds. We're going to click on Add. We're going to switch this to the Insight interface. We're going to input the IP address of the server, which is 192.168.1.5, and port UDP port 9996. We're going to click OK, and we're going to apply this. Then once we set up the SNMP and NetFlow, we're going to have to create a rule. So for that, we click on Firewall, and we go to Service Policy Rule. We're going to click on Add, and we're going to make sure the global, which applies to all interfaces, is selected. Hit Next. Any traffic, hit Next. NetFlow, Add, and here's our server listed. We can click on Send, hit OK, hit Finish. Disable it. We're going to say No. Alright, at this point, if you notice, our rule is created and we're done. That's how simple it is setting it up on the ASA. So we hit Apply. So now that we set it up on the ASA, we're going to come to a router. How would you do this on a 26 series, 17 series, 36, 72, whatever the series router it is? How are you going to do it? So I'm already logged into a 36 series router, and what we're going to do at this point is you have to enable it on all of the interfaces, okay? So in our case, we're going to log into configuration mode, and we're going to say, but before I do that, I'm going to say show interfaces, and we know we have Fast Ethernet 0, Fast Ethernet 1. So these are the two interfaces we have. So I'm going to go to config T, F0/0, interface F0/0. Now I'm in the interface right now, so I'm going to say IP route cache flow and IP flow egress, and exit. You can do the same thing for F0/1. Let's say IP route cache flow. Now I'm going to stop here for a second. Just typing in IP route cache flow, and some documentation states that that's all you need. Some say you don't even need this. All you have to do is type in IP flow egress. I've noticed that when I type just this in, it doesn't work. I have to type in IP flow egress with it. So that's why I'm including both. It doesn't hurt. IP flow egress and exit. So now that we've configured the interfaces, now we need to configure the destination and export. So for that, we can type in IP flow export, and the destination is 192.168.1.5 and port 9996. Destination. What this does is it exports the NetFlow cache entries to the specified IP address. So the next command, which is IP flow export source, meaning, okay, what interface are we gonna use to export this data? So what this command is doing is sets the source IP address of the NetFlow export, which sends the data to the specified device. So for that, we're going to use the inside interface, which is IP flow export. So in this case, whatever interface you're connected to, right? If this is a NATed device, you're going to use the outside the outside interface. If it's internally, if you're connected to this router internally, other than the outside interface, whichever that may be, you will use that interface respectively. So in our case, we're going to use interface F0/1. Alright. This next command, which is IP flow export version 5. So what this is saying is that we're going to set the NetFlow export version to version 5. Just remember, NetFlow Analyzer supports at least this version of software supports version 5, 7, and 9. Okay, so you have to be mindful of that. The default is 5. That's where most of the routers and switches use. This next command, IP flow cache timeout active 1. This breaks up the long-lived flows into 1-minute fragments. And then IP flow cache timeout inactive to 15. What this command does is that it ensures the flow that have finished are periodically exported. SNMP server if index persist. And what this does is that it enables the if index, which is the interface name, sets it globally to persist, meaning if the device or the switch reboots, it's not going to lose its name, or that value is not going to be lost. So we have consistent data being exported to the NetFlow server. So we're going to hit enter, and that's it at this point, believe it or not. So we're going to exit. I'm going to write this to memory, and if I say show run, there we go. On interface, set on interface 0 and on interface 1. So the next portion is obviously, is the data being sent to our NetFlow Analyzer, which I have in the background here. So we're going to go ahead and log in. And once you log in, you'll see that it has already begun to, right here, it already begun to collect data and graph it for us in this very nice graphical interface. And what the type of data that we're getting from this is obviously charts, who's using what bandwidth. You can set these averages to 1 minute, 15 minutes, and so on and so forth. You can click on devices, look at the index, look at the interface and see who's using the top application, the top IP source, destination, conversations. So we have all data available to us now at this point. Very in-depth, detailed data. So in essence, this is how you would set up NetFlow on a Cisco and on a ASA device. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you have any questions, please drop me a line, and don't forget to subscribe. Thank you. Bye-bye.